Thank you for joining us on Nationwide Live on the network service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta with the news. And we begin with FEC. The Federal Executive Council has approved over 87 billion naira for the construction, rehabilitation and completion of critical road projects in parts of the country. This is part of efforts at sustaining the nation's trajectory towards addressing Nigeria's infrastructural deficit for enhanced socio-economic development. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the reports.
It was the 31st meeting of the highest policy decision-making body of the Nigerian government for the year 2020 and 22nd to be held virtually in the new normal. With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the council considered and approved several memoranda on the enhancement of roads infrastructure in the southwest, north central, as well as the nation's capital, Abuja. For the FCT in particular, 30.6 billion naira has been approved for what the Minister Muhammad Musa Bello described as full-scale development of arterial route linking the Shehu Musa Yaradua Way with the Murtala Muhammad Way, otherwise referred to as the Kubwa Expressway. And in line with the general standards of rules in the FCT, the project to be completed in 32 months also comprised the provision of a number of bridges as well as telecommunications, power and water supply components.
The project is within phase 2 of the Federal Capital City and is going to serve adjoining districts of Mabushi, Kado, Katampe and Jahi. And it will also generally enhance overall the congestion of traffic in phases 1, 2, 3 and 4 of the Federal Capital City.
Similarly, 47.5 billion naira has also been approved for the completion of the 52-kilometer Oyo-Ogbomosho Highway in furtherance of the Buhari administration's policy directive of completing existing projects. The project is part of the 145-kilometer Ilorin-Ibadan Highway awarded in the year 2010.
We needed to adjust some things in the scope of works, the thickness of the pavement from 500 mm to 560 mm, to also change the asphalt to polymer modified bitumen, and also the shoulders from surface dressing to fully asphalted inside and outside shoulders. So all of this require changes in prices of 47.504 billion, and this has increased the total contract price to 105.041 billion.
The minister also secured the council's approval for the completion of Loko Iweto Bridge across River Benue, linking Nasarawa and Benue states.
That project was awarded in 2011, and it was awarded in 3 different sections. One section, the road to Benue, Oshogbedo Uweto, was awarded to one contractor. We have completed that road. The bridge was awarded to another contractor. The bridge is essentially finished now, is open to traffic. And then the Loko to Nasarawa 74 kilometers was awarded to another contractor. We are trying to sort out that problem and we will come back to it. So the approval given today was a 9,348,000,000 variation to complete the bridge component, the remaining work on the bridge. But as you know, if you go there now, it's already open to traffic, just finishing abutment work and to link the existing road on the Benue side to the bridge is what we got this variation for.
The Loko Iweto Bridge, already in use, the minister said, provides a major time-saving detour of about 4 hours for the motoring public coming from the south through Benue and Nasarawa states and to Abuja, the nation's capital. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, an upstream subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has reported an explosion at a production facility in oil mining lease OML 40 involving its partners Elcrest Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited while carrying out production evacuation at Betokun Production Facility. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Dr. Kenny Obateru, says there were no fatalities or injuries and no significant spill in the incident. There was, however, significant damage to the marine storage vessel MT Harcourt, which will impact production by about 10,000 barrels of oil per day. NNPC has since commenced investigation to ascertain the cause of the incident with a view to averting future occurrence. A coalition of non-governmental organizations is seeking the separation of facts from fictions in issues surrounding the NSAS peaceful protest, which was later hijacked by hoodlums to loot and destroy public and private property. This, the coalition says, will enable credible solutions to the issues as a way forward. Ngozi Silva, Technical, reports.
Videos and posts on social media platforms on the alleged Lekki shooting are references this group is making to highlight the extent people can abuse the social media to arouse emotions and sentiments. This coalition of 62 non-governmental organizations and civil society groups is therefore cautioning that if the ugly trend of wrong use of the social media is not kept in check, it will create more problems.
In this social media age, and with the sophistication that captured the men in military firing even in the dark, we expected to see at least someone who captured the killings, the dead bodies as evidences, or at least we expected some families of Nigerian citizens to have come forward to lay claims on their loved ones who participated in the protest but are still missing. No family has done this.
The coalition appeals to the youth to desist from trooping into the streets in protest, but rather embrace dialogue as government is willing to integrate them into affairs of nation building. Meanwhile, more Nigerians are appealing to officers and men of the Nigerian police force not to despair due to recent unrest, but see the challenge as a call to rise and do more in securing lives and property.
And condemn in totality gruesome killing of our police officers. As such, we appeal to the officers of the Nigerian police to resume their duty fully in the interest of national security.
The group urged Nigerians to support the police reforms being introduced by the federal government. Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the wanton looting and vandalism of both public and private property, as well as other national monuments in the guise of NSAS protest, has been described as a monumental setback to the economy, which is managing to get back on its feet after the COVID-19 pandemic. Chairman, Sub-Sahara Peace and Awareness Foundation, Mohammed Akibu Dalhatu, led other coalition of civil societies to a press conference on the need for protesters to give government the benefits of doubt to look into their demands. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Records by Sub-Saharan Peace and Awareness Foundation indicates that the level of destructions recorded as a result of the NSAS protest is said to have reached trillions of naira. In addition, more than 70 police personnel were killed and 200 police stations destroyed across the country. While commending the federal government and the Nigerian police for the prompt response to the demands of the NSAS protesters, the coalition, however, urged the government to accelerate the workability of government programs aimed at empowering the youth.
We therefore condemned in strong terms the wanton looting, vandalism, and unwarranted burning of our national monuments and properties running into trillions of naira.
We want to meet with the heads of these ethnic groups, to see how we can ensure that peaceful harmony returns back and exists among these communities where it has been affected.
The CSOs also promised to engage community leaders, traditional rulers and youth organizations in various communities, as well as civil society forum to discuss post-NSAS protests and proffer solutions to avert future occurrences. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Now, the recent NSAS protest left in its wake despair, losses in lives and property, and emotional trauma. One of the many public facilities attacked and vandalized is NTA Calabar. Kolo Mohammed reports that a group visited NTA management on condolence.
Group Muslim Media Watch Group handed in words of encouragement, support, and appreciation, then registered an appeal to discourage the organization from giving up on its efforts to inform and promote national unity in a way that only NTA knows how to. In response, NTA management gave the assurance of even further national cohesion through objective reportage.
We are here to pay solidarity visit as well as to commiserate with the DG and management of NTA over the vandalization and wanton destruction of NTA Calabar stations. Calabar station during the course of the unrest manifested by NSAS protest.
NTA Calabar was attacked and vandalized by hoodlums in the shadow of the NSAS protests. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Imo State Commission of Inquiry into Police Brutality and other related extrajudicial killings set up by the Imo State government has held its inaugural sitting in Owerri, committed to ensure justice for victims of police brutality. Kingsley Ononiwu reports that 4 petitions bordering on alleged extrajudicial killings and abuse of fundamental human rights were filed by victims.
The 16-member Commission of Inquiry into Police Brutality and other related extrajudicial killings, headed by retired Justice Florence Duroha Igwe, was set up in the aftermath of the nationwide NSAS protest with a view to ensuring justice for victims of police brutality. The chairman of the commission, retired Justice Florence Duroha Igwe, says the commission will spare no effort towards achieving its terms of reference
and draw conclusions as to the validity of the complaints. These are main police officers who were responsible for the brutalities and recommend compensation and other remedial measures when, at the end of our investigation, we hope that our holding or decision will enhance peace in Imo State and Nigeria at large.
Some participants expressed the hope that the outcome of the inquiry will be implemented. 4 petitions were received, while 2 filed against extrajudicial killing and abuse of fundamental human rights were adjourned to Monday, November 9, 2020, to enable the defendants to be properly served.
We are going to be fair to all. We didn't start hearing today because the indicted officers were not here to defend themselves. So that's fair hearing.
The Imo State Commission of Inquiry has been given 6 weeks to wrap up their assignments. In Owerri, Kingsley Ononiwu, NTA News.
Rebuilding citizens and police relationship. Let's join Zinret in Jos for this and more on Nationwide. Over to you, Zinret.
Thank you, Informa, and welcome to Jos. Now let's turn our attention to rebuilding a cordial relationship among Nigerians and the police sequel to the ugly incidents resulting from the hijacked NSAS protests. And joining me to speak on this is Abubakar Abdullahi Dashi, a retired police superintendent. Welcome to Nationwide.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's talk briefly about how we got to this stage of a sour relationship between Nigerians and the Nigerian police.
Thank you very much. The relationship between the public and the police became sour because some of the policemen were going out of their ways. They were not working within the confines of the law. Brutality became the order of the day. And the public actually felt it was time to say no to brutality.
Okay.
Yes.
So in your own opinion, what are some of the reasons that these policemen act in such ways?
You see, there is nothing to justify injustice.
Okay.
Because the police, if they have any problem, they have their own channels of addressing their issues. But not by dehumanizing innocent citizens of this country. It's uncalled for. It was not so before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is expected of the Nigerian police officer if this is to be rectified, and the citizenry also, how can they come together and work towards rectifying this issue?
Very good. What I expect from the police is that they should work within the confines of the law.
Okay.
They should treat with people with dignity. I mean, if the police are not treating people with dignity, then police is not your friend again. So, what I am trying to say is that when the police correct their wrongs, the public will have confidence in them.
Okay.
And coming to the public, you see, things have happened. We should give police maximum cooperation so that they can succeed. Without the cooperation of the public, we cannot succeed. The police cannot succeed. And so we have to bear in mind that we are humans. The police also, they are humans. They have erred. And I know with the experience, the ugly experience, by end of SARS, will correct the wrongs of the police. I know that.
Okay. So now, what could be the bigger consequence if this situation goes unchecked? Because apart from the NSAS protest now, what if the problem keeps going on? What happens?
You see, I know by the grace of God, this thing will not continue like this. We shall not continue like this. People are getting more aware of their rights by day. They are getting more aware of their rights by day. So this thing will not, let me just ask you, since the end of SARS, since the end of the strike, have you ever had any ugly situation from the police?
Okay, answer now.
It has not happened again, and I know it will not happen again.
Okay, let's hope that this is true. I've been talking with Abubakar Abdullahi Dashe, a retired police superintendent. Thank you for finding time to join us on Nationwide.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, the Judicial Panel of Inquiry into the alleged police brutality and extrajudicial killings has commenced sitting in Plateau State. At the inaugural sitting, key players unanimously made a case for justice and transparency. Rinve Sylvan's Law reports that the panel is sitting at the Azinyako Youth Center, Jos.
Following the NSAS protest, this panel of inquiry has been mandated by Plateau State government to receive and investigate complaints of police brutality and related extrajudicial killings. The chairman of the panel, Justice Philomena Lot, said the panel will evaluate evidence and draw conclusions on the validity of complaints and any other matters that may be related to the commission's assignment.
Each complainant is required to submit to the tribunal 10 copies of each complaint addressed to the tribunal chairman, duly signed with the name or names and addresses of the complainant.
Speaking on their various expectations, key players expressed confidence in the members of the panel, urging all who appear before it to be precise in their submission.
This panel's mandate is to investigate cases of alleged violation of human rights, which is a subject the state can handle. We cannot draw observations of previous commission of inquiry to stop crisis. Because at the end of the day, you cannot resolve the issues and the battlefield.
The panel has 6 months within which to complete its assignment and submit verdict. In Jos, Rinred Silvanus Lot, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Nationwide continues in Lagos with Hingino after this break.
card like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. The creation of 75 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. Paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more in spite of a recession and a global pandemic.
That social media is not good or bad, and that it is you who is using it that is either good or bad. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, verify the information, and reflect before sharing it. Now, are you a good social media user? Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source for a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Mr. President said the youth of this country have spoken, and he has heard, and he has since gone to work for the youth of our country, not just as a president, but even as a father of the younger generation.
The real Nigerian youth is a patriot, not a tool of destabilization.
Mr. President made an appeal to the Nigerian youth that this protest, wherever held, should be done in a peaceful manner. The Nigerian youth should be on their guard to make sure that elements that will infiltrate and distract them from the very purpose of their protest should be prevented from doing so.
Listen to the voice of reason.
Thanks for being there. Let's now look at the traffic situation in Lagos, where the roads are busy without the traffic managers, which has led to gridlock and chaos as motorists have had to deal with the situation unabated for the past 1 week. Dotun Oguyemi went out to monitor the situation and now reports. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, studio. Well, the traffic situation in Lagos is one that reeks of perpetual fear, as most commuters and motorists have had to deal with delayed travel time, unexpected delays in their journeys and getting to their destinations. This situation has largely been attributed to the absence of traffic management personnel as well as security operatives from the road. Where I am standing is at Deyemo Alakija, a major stretch along the Lekki-Epe Expressway, and the traffic lights here are not working. A lot of vehicles just speed through, not really caring for the next man who is about to either come out of the junction or continue on the stretch of the road.
It's so hectic that even before I got to work this morning, it takes almost about 4 hours plus.
The roads, government should come to the road from Lekki down to Aja to Saguta Road is very bad. They should come to our aid in that area.
The withdrawal of policemen has really exposed the lawlessness.
Now, another significant thing that I noticed is that along the stretch of the highway and other highways where commercial motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, have been banned, they have now seemed to return to the road as the situation sort of speaks to a free-for-all, if you may call it that. Nobody is there to regulate, nobody is there to enforce the laws. And that's it from me. It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Dotson. Now to security matters. In fulfillment of its quest to reform the Nigeria Police Force, the Lagos State Police Command has flagged off the debriefing and medical evaluation exercise for the operatives of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS, and other tactical units in the State Command. Nosa Usula reports that the flag-off, which took place at the Area F Command Hall, Ikeja, is on the order of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Abubakar Adamu.
The course outline includes public relations principles, concepts of community policing, standard operating procedure of the Nigeria Police Force, post-traumatic stress disorder, end SARS experience, challenges, hopes and aspiration, and the way forward. The State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, who reiterated the commitment of the Inspector General of Police to change the psyche of the operatives and prepare them for better police duties, which are entirely different from their previous duties, admonished the operatives to believe and key into the ongoing reform agenda of the IGP.
But to start members of the public, and you need to know the problem of the public before you can solve it. And one of the ways of letting you know their problem is you interacting with them, believing in the spirit of community policing, and building a trust in them before they cannot give you information. One, what's the work? Secondly, for them to tell us where their problems are.
The police chief charged senior officers of the command to always supervise their men posted on duty at various locations across the state, stating that adequate supervision of officers and men will enhance good service delivery, especially during the ember months. In Lagos, Nosa Usula, NTA News.
It's now back to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
What you know. Now, 54 out of the 55 countries have signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, while 31 countries have ratified the agreement. Debates on the viability of implementing the agreement at the ECOWAS Parliament Delocalized Joint Committee meeting, however, considers the readiness of the continent to make progress in this regard amid intervening variables like currency difference, national consciousness, among others. Onange Fineface reports.
Debate on the challenges and prospects of our borderless Africa in a period of terrorism and insecurity, pandemics and protectionism, centered on underlying concerns that must be addressed before the Continental Free Trade Area can be implemented.
It is important that we increase the dialogue with the parliamentarians in the African continent to enable them to understand this agreement so that their representatives can also fast track and ensure that it is done.
One is the low level of industrialization in Africa. Two
is low level of production, and thirdly, that weak infrastructure.
Members of Parliament want such concerns as fragmented markets, difference in cross-border communication costs, daunting transportation systems, debts in incontinent production, effective settlement of disputes arising from commercial investment and business relations, among others, to be addressed by the agreement.
Our corporate citizens who are mining our minerals, who are mining the gold, who are mining the diamonds, who are mining the iron ore, that Africa must now take a step to compel them to produce here.
It is very important that the issue of the currency, single currency, should be resolved.
The AfCFTA offers a historic opportunity for our countries to expedite export diversification, specialization of trade by increasing intra-Africa trade in value-added products.
Inclusivity, shared benefits, shared growth, and improved negotiations were also considered as major aspects of the AfCFTA that parliamentarians will take up with National Assembly of Member States to enable them ratify the agreement in good time. In Cotonou, Benin Republic, Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
And back home, the Governor Maimala Buni-led caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee of the All Progressives Congress has met on Tuesday at the party's national secretariat and reviewed the implementation of the committee's 3-month action plan. In a statement, the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the party, Yekini Nabina, highlights the ongoing registration, updates revalidation of the party's nationwide membership register as one of the key implementation process. The statement added that the caretaker committee has appealed to affected members to comply with the National Executive Committee's directive that those with court cases against the party should withdraw them in the spirit of peace and reconciliation. It was also acknowledged that the committee has substantially reconciled various factions in some affected states such as Bauchi, Bayelsa, Cross River, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Zamfara, Ondo, and Oyo states. In addition to meetings with identified stakeholders, elder statesmen, state governors, state chairmen, National Assembly caucus, identified youth and women groups, ministers and heads of parastatals, the caretaker committee has also resolved to brief the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, Chairman Progressive Governors Forum, Senate President and Speaker House of Representatives, with a mid-term report which will enable them to take all-inclusive decisions, the statement added. Achieving good governance at all levels of government in Nigeria starts with the election of persons with the right mindset for leadership. To fast-track this Project 20 Billion movement has been launched in Abuja to foster unity among Nigerians in their desire for good governance. Kelvin Ebonaye reports.
The mission of Project 20 Million is to kickstart the mobilization of Nigerians across the country to take active part in activities to fast-track good governance at all levels. A brainchild of coalition of youth groups, it seeks to register 20 million Nigerians to foster unity among the people and work towards the emergence of visionary leaders at all levels.
We're asking for good roads, we're asking for water, we're asking for light, we're asking for youth empowerment.
It's giving hope to everybody in Nigeria that we need a better Nigeria. We need good governance. Good governance is all we ask for.
It's a masses-driven project whereby youth wants to engage themselves in leadership.
A former presidential villa chaplain, Professor Yusufu Obaje, a patron of the group, said, if Nigerians work together with a common purpose, they can throw up leaders at all levels who are committed to providing good governance.
Let me tell you, it's not religion that is our problem, it's the character of the people.
Project 20 Million is to take the message of good governance to the nooks and crannies of the country to boost its membership. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Voices for rethinking youth development in Nigeria towards inclusiveness in all spheres of life is getting louder, with the youth keying into present government's plan to commence legal framework for it. Timothy Yusuf reports that issues of youth inclusiveness is becoming necessary following events of the past weeks.
Chairman of the Young Parliamentarians Forum, Kabir Tukura, is among many Nigerian youths that want young people to be involved in governance and believes it is part of the democratic process for citizens to demonstrate and demand their rights from their elected leaders and representatives. This process, he however says, must be within the ambience of the law.
And then there's an ever-increasing need for inclusion for young persons in governance and in decision-making.
Violence is never the answer, nor the solution to genuine agitations for the development of your country.
For a nation to develop, conflict must be minimized.
Many also share Kabiru's sentiments that rethinking youth development in Nigeria following the NSAS protest and the consequences thereafter has become imperative, especially in the face of government's efforts to look into their agitations.
It will be advisable for the NSAS leadership to ensure dialogue in the spirit of their chosen approach of maximum civil conduct.
Nigeria is the cornerstone of the security of West Africa.
There is nothing that we can even compare to what God is using Nigerians to do in the diaspora.
The Young Parliamentarians Forum of the 9th Assembly, as part of efforts towards repositioning the Nigerian youth to realize their potential, is exploring novel and innovative approaches.
This retreat comes at a time of a new and intense wave of restiveness sweeping every part of our country. From the north to the south, east and west, there is palpable unease.
These exclusions are rooted in legal and policy frameworks of this country.
Young people are really looking forward to a constitutional amendment process that produces review to the Constitution for more youth inclusion.
More than ever before, we need to have a rethink about youth development.
Representative Kabir Tukura and his like at this strategy meeting are developing action points towards achieving effective solutions to challenges confronting youth development in Nigeria. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Still on youth matters, let's now join Chinenye in Enugu for more on Nationwide. Hello, Chinenye.
Hello, Ifoma. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. As a way of engaging the youth meaningfully, about 240 youths across the 17 local government areas of Enugu State have benefited from a vocational training centered on the production of natural beverages, allied products, skincare, and hygienic products. The youths were empowered by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Enugu State, in conjunction with Potter's Wheel Foundation. Chidi Okorafor reports. Potter's Wheel Foundation. Chidi Okorafor reports. Potter's Wheel Foundation. Chidi Okorafor reports.
Was designed to empower and make the youths of the state self-reliant.
Enugu State has continued to ensure her youth participation in all national and international sporting and youth-related activities.
The table you see in front there are some of the products of our trainees in this 1 month training.
Speakers at the event charged the youth to remain law-abiding and make positive impact in the society.
You need to be law-abiding and work to ensure that what you have learned is put into practice. So we expect you to do well. We expect you to deliver more. We expect you to go and conquer.
The event featured exhibition of products produced by the beneficiaries. In Enugu, Chidi Okorafor, NTA News.
In a related development, 45 selected female secondary school teachers from Enugu East Senatorial District have benefited from the ICT program facilitated by a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as part of his contribution to the improvement of standard of education in his constituency. Eva Aneke has the details.
The 5-day ICT training and empowerment program, which focused mainly on the use of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and multimedia presentation, was to equip the teachers with the modern teaching technologies, hence make academic work easier. The facilitator, Senator Chimaroke Namani, represented by Elder Emmanuel Namani, said the lawmaker chose the program to empower the teachers with requisite skills that will help to advance teaching and learning in the district.
Because of this training, most of our girls from the Eastern Zone will be able to be more versatile with ICT use.
The participants, expressing delight on the gesture by the lawmaker, said the knowledge they acquired within the few days will help them be abreast with the global teaching standards and assured of their readiness to replicate the gesture to their colleagues and pupils in their various schools.
I'm going to be using the system, going to interact with their computer lab prefects, try to put this thing up there so that we can be able to, pass this knowledge digitally.
I feel great. I feel excited. In fact, I remain grateful to our senator.
The participants each received a laptop computer and its pack. High point of the event was presentation of certificate of participation to the participants. In Enugu, Eva Aneke, NTA News.
And that is it from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Lanre in Ibadan after this commercial break. Do stay.
My name is Nando Jamda
Muhammad
Stevita
Hussein Musa Rodina Joel Finji Said Musa John.
I'm a carpenter. I've been doing this for more than 8 years now.
And I said that plantain Nakai Kimami Shekara Uku.
I've been selling my tomatoes for about 10 years now, and I do it for a better Nigeria.
And I do it for a better Nigeria.
Now, when the Sana and Lemune Domin Nigeria to take about Domin Nigeria to come. And you can see how we're doing our small little work to make Nigeria great.
As you can see, I'm a technician and I'm doing it to help myself and to help my generation.
Business.
For a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46.
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Still watching Nationwide, and welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has assured Oyo Police Command that he will rebuild police stations' bonds during the NSAS protests in the state and provide other logistics that will make police work better. The governor made a pledge when he visited the State Police Command headquarters, Elele, Ibadan. Correspondent Rofia Animashao Badmus has more.
The governor's visit was to sympathize with the police over the killings of 5 police officers, destruction of police stations, patrol vehicles, among others. The governor said he was in support of the protest, which was partly for better welfare package for police personnel, but was later hijacked by hoodlums. He, however, assured Oyo Police Command of his full support to enable them discharge their statutory duties effectively.
To be professional in our conduct, and I give you the assurance that together we shall win back the trust of the people.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Southwest Zone, who appreciated the kind gesture of the governor, however, assured him that it is going to be a new dawn for police personnel in Oyo.
And use your community leaders and all the locals to put community policing in practice. And let us have a proper policing going forward.
He said it is high time community policing come on board fully in the interest of the people. In Ibadan, Rofia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
Still talking security, the Kwara State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has handed over some of the recovered looted items during the October 23rd crisis to their rightful owners. Iyabode Olorunshola reports that the handing over was done at the command's headquarters in Ilorin.
Items like fridge, deep freezers, air conditioners, electronics, mattresses, bags of flour, industrial and office machines and gadgets were returned to their owners. While some of the items were recovered from suspects arrested, others are those willingly returned by the looters. Sequel to an approval from the court, the NSCDC Commandant Makinde Anyila said the items are being released to the owners upon identification and proof of ownership.
With that development, many people came down and they started moving their property as it is being identified.
Moturayo Adaran, the Secretary, State Emergency Management Agency, commended the efforts of the NSCDC.
Patigi, Edu, Moro. Honestly, we are supposed to take almost half of these items which were looted to those areas, because in that particular areas we have mentioned, they are seriously affected.
Meanwhile, the command is still on the lookout for those who are ready to surrender their loot through community leaders or other means. The release of the recovered items will not in any way affect those who are standing trial for their involvement in looting and destruction of property. Iyabode Olorunshola, NTA News.
And I hand you over to Ifoma in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Larry. Now, the tougher task of securing the Nigeria airspace and strengthening of the entire national security landscape for the peace and fostering of genuine integration amongst the people forms crucial ground for assessing the 5-year scorecard of the Nigerian Air Force. House Committee on Air Force raises morale of the airmen and women during oversight to the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The legislative function, which was intended to scrutinize and evaluate operational performance, fiscal spending, as well as make critical observations, was less cumbersome following the performance of the Nigerian Air Force in the period under review.
On behalf of the National Assembly, more especially the House of Representatives, as you are the best chief of air staff ever produced in this country. Congratulations. Secondly, you have a good team, because you can't do it alone. They are assisting you, they are giving you a helping hand, a good lieutenant. Congratulations to all the airmen and airwomen of Nigerian Air Force.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, explained that the Nigerian Air Force, under the period of 5 years, has flown more than 600,000 hours and 47,445 sorties with more than 600,000 liters of fuel, costing more than 14 billion naira.
A credible Air Force that can really respond to what is required is essential for Nigeria to remain secure and peaceful. And there is no way you can get a credible Air Force without the air assets required, just like you mentioned. We are very grateful to you and to the federal government.
The Nigerian Air Force, he added, has trained manpower within and outside the country, procured several fighting aircraft, and embarked on the recruitment of special force protection elements to support air operation. The Nigerian Air Force also strive in foreign peace mission, trans-border crimes, internal stability, and humanitarian interventions across crisis zones and territories of natural disasters. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Troops of Operation Fireball have neutralized 75 Boko Haram insurgents in various operations within the theater conducted between 28 September and 31st October 2020 in the Northeast. Acting Director, Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Onyuko disclosed this while briefing journalists on the successes recorded under the operation at the Nigerian Army Special Super Camp 1 Ngamdu, Borno State. Yunusa Suleiman reports. Meanwhile, an appeal for a stay of execution by a factional leader of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, Eriyo Osakwanwen, has been filed at the Court of Appeal. The appeal seeks to set aside the judgment of the Industrial Court of Nigeria, which declared Mustafa Jibril as the association's national president. Austin Anyebe reports.
The appeal is predicated on the grounds that the National Industrial Court of Nigeria last jurisdiction to entertain the matter it delivered judgment on, as the earlier course of action was decided by the Court of Coordinate Jurisdiction. In the proposed notice of appeal, the appellant, through his counsel, Olaiwola Afolabi, maintains that he was duly elected to the position of president of the association.
Because when it comes to intra-union, you have to go to conciliation, arbitration before you can come to industrial court. Industrial court is like an appellate court. So we are challenging the jurisdiction of the court. And we're happy this last bus stop, because Supreme Court has no power over labor matter. By virtue of the new law, it is only the Court of Appeal that can decide matter finally. So we're here, we have zoomed here to Court of Appeal.
Necessary processes are being filed before the appeal can be heard. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has threatened to institute court case to stop counting of votes as Joe Biden is in early lead in the presidential polls. More than 90% of the ballots have been counted and results announced. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Not clear now if the Republican Donald Trump will continue to occupy the White House as America's president for the next 4 years. This is because the result of the country's presidential election announced so far show that Democrat Joe Biden is leading in both national and electoral college votes. The Republican incumbent so far has won in 26 states, including big places such as Florida, Texas, Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri, and Ohio, while Joe Biden has captured 18 states, including his home state, Delaware, California, New York, as well as Washington, the U.S. capital. The development has given Biden 238 electoral votes and Trump 213. The America's Electoral College winning vote is 270.
Keep the faith, guys. We're going to win this.
Shortly after Biden said he was confident of winning the contest once the votes are counted, Trump appeared at the White House to declare victory and said his lawyers would be taking his case to the U.S. Supreme Court without specifying what they would claim.
It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it.
If Donald Trump is defeated, he will be the second incumbent president to lose a re-election fight after George W. Bush in 1992. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And now sports. Flying Eagles coach Ladan Boso assures on good outing at Togo 2020. Details of these and more with Bade Adeleye on Sports Updates.
Match
Day 5 of the Prudent Energy Handball Premier League, ongoing at the Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, produced some interesting results, with Rima Strikers of Sokoto defeating Confluence Stars 32-27 in the men's category. Women's champions Safety Babes had to dig deep to beat Kada Queens 25-20, with Plateau Peacocks recording an 18-15 victory over Defender Babes, another reflection of the level of competitiveness of the teams.
Definitely, you know, what the game was used to is not what we are seeing today. The exhibition of what the scientific game was known for. The speed and other accuracy are not as perfect as it is. But notwithstanding, we still want to thank the Federation and the Minister of Youth and Sport for accepting this tournament to be hosted.
To football, Flying Eagles head coach Ladan Bosso says is close to getting a strong team for the WAFU B Under-20 tournament, scheduled to begin on November 14 in Togo. The Nigerian Under-20 boys, who have been training in Abuja, go up against their Ivorian and Ghanaian counterparts in Group B of the tournament, which serves as qualifier for the 2021 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations.
It's still a work in progress, and I believe with the little time we have, I think we should be able to present a good team that will make Nigeria proud.
Away from football, enhancing the development programs for junior golfers has been adopted as one of the focal points at Parkland Golf Resort Club, Abuja. This renewed determination was expressed by the lady captain of the club, Lizzie Asomuga, ahead of the inaugural tournament for the 2020-2021 golfing calendar.
People think golfing is for the big boys or for the big girls. No. My target is for the young ones, to let them join us and play golf.
Parkland Golf Resort is a par 3 mini golf course in Abuja. With sports update, Bade Adeleye, NTA News.
And that's the news. We thank you for watching, but do remember, connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists.